Our greatest asset is to think. When you spend time thinking, you're not just taking somebody else's word for it. You're thinking about whatever the issue is. You're thinking about it for yourself. You're putting opinions of other people aside and you're looking at it for yourself. And that is super important that we take time to think. Most people just go through the motions every single day. They do the same thing over and over again. They hadn't even thought about, does it make sense what they're doing? So think about that today. Your greatest asset is to be able to think for yourself, not what somebody else tells you to think, not what somebody else tells you to believe, but you're thinking for yourself. You're weighing it out. You're looking at the pros and cons of whatever's going on. You're thinking about it for yourself. You're looking at it logically. You're looking at it from both sides, the negative and the positive. You're not just haphazardly making decisions or doing what everybody else is doing. You're thinking for yourself. You're taking time, setting aside time every single day, and you're thinking. Whatever it is. It might be reflecting on the day, looking at what happened. It may be just thinking about a decision that you have to make. It may be thinking about a question. It may be looking at your situation and saying, okay, what do I have to do to change? What do I have to do to change my life? What changes do I need to make in myself? But it's the sitting back and thinking. It's the quiet. It's the asking yourself the hard questions. It's taking the time to think. And there's a lot of different things that we can do. We got to make it a practice to think for ourselves, to take time to think. And something happens in the quiet. You can see what you really believe. You can see if what you're doing lines up with your values. You could just see things from a different perspective versus just haphazardly making decisions or going too quick or just doing the things that, for tradition's sake, doing things that your parents wanted you to do, doing things that your spouse wants you to do. You're stopping and thinking, does this make sense for me? So take time to think today. Thinking is so important. And I believe that a lot of people just don't take time to think. They don't take the time to think and see, is this what I really want? Is this what I really believe? They're caught up in being accepted and belonging to a certain group. But you got to think about it for yourself. You don't start thinking about the situations that you're in, the issues that you're dealing with. You're gonna find yourself where you're unhappy, you regret, you're resentful of a lot of things that are happening because you didn't take time to think for yourself. So it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It matters what you're doing. And so the only way you're going to look at your situation objectively is really to stop and think every single day. Just spend some time thinking. If it's 15 minutes, just sit quiet and think. Just eliminate 15 minutes from your time, maybe social media or TV, and just sit back and think in the quiet without any interruptions. Just think about whatever it is that you need to think about. And if you think that you don't have anything to think about what you've been thinking about all day long, because that's where we're headed, is where our thoughts have taken us all day long. So we have to be intentional that we're thinking about the things that we want, that we're focused on the things that we want. We focus on good things, helping other people, encouraging other people, motivating other people, checking on other people, versus sitting around thinking about the past or thinking about problems or issues. And so I'm all for thinking about the problems if we're having a solution session where we're completely solution oriented, we're completely engulfed in trying to figure out how to fix the situation. But as far as thinking all day about my problems, it doesn't do anything but make the problems bigger. It makes, it blows things out of proportion. It exaggerates the problem. So spend time thinking about, if you've got a lot of problems or you're looking at problems from the past, you're looking at something from the past, just know that you can't change anything from the past. It's over. If you got to apologize. But if you need solutions for the problems that you're facing, just sit down and have a solution session. Think about, what do I need to do to change? And that's the most important thing. Is our greatest asset is that we need to think about what we're thinking about. We need to have some think sessions. This is where we're thinking about our ideas, our experiences, our stories. This is where we can really become more valuable, is that when we think about our experiences, our ideas, and our stories, where things start to change, because you started to look at your story, you start thinking, okay, I've been through a lot of stuff. I've overcome a lot of things. Had all these different challenges, and I've been able to make it through. I've been able to just keep going no matter what. So just think about having a think session every day, 15 minutes, where you're just thinking about your life, your situation, what you've been thinking about all day long, and watch how your life changes, because most people are not spending time thinking. They're just going through the motions. They're just doing what everybody else is doing.